is the 77 WABC minicast.
Come on, let's get right to him. Love this guy. So good. So good on TV. Paul Mauro. Been watching Fox News 11 days on this Guthrie story. And a lot happened yesterday. Let's get right to him. Paul, good morning. Welcome back. How is the weather in Tucson, Arizona this morning?
Nice and moderate, 60 degrees. It's a nice change from New York.
Yeah, my God. It sounds like it is. All right, Paul, so let's get to the meat of this. It looked like 2 days ago we were nowhere. No suspects, nothing. And then all of a sudden, yesterday afternoon, we see this video of this masked man outside of Nancy Guthrie's house on the day that she was abducted, we guess. And we can see a lot. You know, he's got a ski mask on, but we can see the eyes, the eyebrows, will look like a mustache, even his coloring. So in his best attempts to hide what he looked like, it looked like, at least from the video we've seen a million times since yesterday, that he may have made a major mistake. What do you think?
Well, very clearly he was cognizant of not leaving any DNA. That's the first thing I go to. You can see he's wrapped up head to toe. Now, you can hope that because he was wrapped up so tightly, he might have been sweating or something at some point, and you'll still get it. Maybe it drips off of his nose or something, or his mouth, which was about all that was exposed. I say that because ultimately, if you get somebody like we thought we had last night, the best way to just confirm it once and for all is to match it to DNA that should not be at the scene. But the fact that they were unable to do that and don't seem to have been able to do that tells me they didn't get DNA, or at least as far as they know. And it's a tough thing to scrape the DNA at a crime scene. So it's very meticulous work. So I think at least to this point, he was successful on that. But you're 100% right. He did a number of things that I think are going to be traceable, including some of what he was wearing, which is kind of idiosyncratic. I see people identifying the sweatshirt that he's wearing online, and it certainly looks right to me. So there are a few things like that. He's also got, it looks to me like a bite light, the light in his mouth, so that he can use his hands while he uses the light. And the fact that he approaches a ring camera that he didn't seem to know was there argues that he didn't do all this surveillance that we thought he might have done. So he's not the arch criminal that he may think he is, and they're going to get him. They didn't get, it doesn't look like it was the guy last night. We could still have him come back into the frame. We don't know, but they're going to get him. You'll see.
No, I think they will too. But, every day that goes by, over the weekend, I made this point to Donna earlier, Paul, over the weekend, most of the people on your network were talking about how sophisticated these people are using Bitcoin and not a cash in a duffel bag, and how they've been able to stay away from the FBI and local police. And we literally went for the very next day, this guy's like an nincompoop. But I will tell you this, he may be that, but it's 12 days now, and he's still out there, and so are these other people. So I'm a little hesitant to say what a clown this guy is until we actually get him. This is taking a very long time. I know the locals took a while to get the FBI in there, but it's still taking a very long time, no?
I mean, it is comparatively, and the reason that you really care about, you always want to get the bad guy fast, but of course you have the added metric this time of Nancy being missing.
But Paul, I got to stop you right there. No one's even talking about her anymore. Like, I watched the coverage yesterday, and I watch it every day. I think I watched 40 hours this weekend. That's how good you are, Paul, and all of Fox News. This has turned into, we got to catch the bad guy. We never even hear about Nancy. There's no sign of life. I know that Fox doesn't want you guys to come on and say you may think she's dead. I know that, okay? Because I was on Fox Sunday night. But the truth is, what do you expect us to think? There's not a voice. There's not a picture. There's no proof of life. And honestly, we're talking for days about catching the bad guys. It's almost like Nancy's an afterthought.
Yeah, it's not an afterthought out here, I can tell you that. Everybody's very, very cognizant of it. But, of course, now we're getting into the point where it's almost 2 weeks. And when you consider that we were told right up front she's not going to be able to live for very long without a medication that she takes every 24 hours or needs at least every 24 hours, it's just obviously an added pressure. But I can tell you it's very much on people's minds here. And last night when it looked like we thought we had a possible, the conversation was all about how can we get this guy, even if you got to make a deal that you hate, to get us the information we need to find her. I was even saying last night, if he was being uncooperative, get him a lawyer as opposed to letting him lawyer up. Because with a lawyer, things get more reasonable. Maybe you can negotiate. And in Arizona, a quirk of the law is that if a lawyer knows something from his client that is potentially relevant to saving someone's life or serious injury, the lawyer has to come forward and tell the police, which is very, very rare. It's an unusual rule. So really, we were thinking that way. But you're not wrong. I mean, the drama has shifted because we got that video into, okay, find this guy, because you did get that video, and that was great work. And I think it is ultimately going to be a key clue here in getting him, along with the sort of digital dust that he undoubtedly has left in his travels.
Let's talk about the backpack, okay? The backpack, okay? And this is your job. It's not mine. I'm just a Dolby Radio guy. But I don't know of a lot of kidnappers that show up with a heavy backpack filled with a whole bunch of stuff. Doesn't make any sense. They want to dress lightly, get in and get out quickly, not 41 minutes. Blood at the front door means there was some type of physical encounter. But most people seem to think that I watched on Fox News last night that backpack was filled with stuff that somebody may use if, in fact, they're looking to abduct, if not, kill somebody inside. What else would be in that backpack that it looked like, at least, was filled to the brim?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely argues that, right? That he not only thought about having sort of an abduction kit, for lack of a better term, or whatever his objective was inside, but he very well may have had stuff that could help him not leave too much trace evidence at the scene. So you're right. I mean, if you're going to it argues against just a simple neighborhood burglary gone wrong, because you don't show up for a burglary. If anything, you show up with an empty backpack hoping to take stuff out, right?
Right.
So that doesn't really track. So, look, there's a lot of counter narratives blowing through this thing. There's a lot of contraindications, for lack of a better term, where you say to yourself, okay, we think we have what is going on here. It feels like we know what's going on here. And then lo and behold, you get something that changes your mind, and that continues to happen. It's a confounding case. Add the Bitcoin piece to it. You get a guy who's trying to obfuscate a Ring camera with a piece of a plant. And yet at the same time, we supposedly are supposed to buy this Bitcoin bit, which I kind of don't at this point. I know there's activity. They're saying it goes to the ransom, but I'm going to hold my fire on that one, because anybody can do that. Yeah. They didn't provide any proof of life that's compelling. I think that was a pile-on from a bad guy actor overseas someplace.
I agree with you. And they've only put about $300 in there, I guess. And, if it was the guy, he would have been pissed off. He would have sent another letter, some real threatening letter, which he may have, but they're not telling him.
I agree.
Right.
I agree 100%.
Right. So is it fair to assume, and I'm saying assume, okay? I'm not making you say something that as if it's fact, that the son-in-law, Savannah's brother-in-law, Tomas, is still a suspect. I mean, again, the investigators were at Annie's house for 3 hours on Saturday, and after the video came out yesterday, they started canvassing that neighborhood in and around Annie's house. What's that all about?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think you got to admit to any possibility here. I think, as the sheriff himself has said, everybody remains in the frame. They're not committing to any one person at this point. And look, he hasn't been seen, but according to all the reporting, he's been nothing but cooperative. The searches at his and his wife's house have been consensual, according to all the reporting. That was a little unclear. First, there was some disparate reporting. But as of now, those seem to be consensual, and he's completely cooperating. And I got to tell you, if you're focusing on him as the police, as some early reporting suggested, you're going to get a lot fast. You're going to be able to trace his movements. You're going to be able to do things with his phone that even if he is trying to obfuscate where he was and is sort of operating with another person or any of the other theories that were bouncing around, that's the kind of thing you can run down quite hard, quite fast. Now, it doesn't mean he's out of the frame, but I think that at this point, sure, you got to admit all possibilities, but very clearly they're chasing other leads because of what we saw last night.